What started as scattered debris has become a plastic continent floating in the Pacific. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is growing faster than we imagined, and it's not just bottles and bags. It's microplastics, ghost nets, and toxic waste. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more revealing environmental stories, and stay tuned as we expose the scale of this man-made disaster. 1. A plastic graveyard in the Pacific. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is the largest plastic accumulation zone on Earth today. It lies between Hawaii and California, spinning inside the North Pacific subtropical gyre. Contrary to myths, it is not a floating island, but a massive soup of plastic and debris. Scientists estimate it covers over 1.6 million square kilometers of ocean surface. This is roughly 3 times the size of France, and it continues to expand every single year. The patch contains over 80,000 metric tons of plastic waste floating and suspended. Over 70% of this mass is abandoned fishing gear, nets, and marine industry waste. 2. The startling speed of its expansion. In the past few decades, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch has grown faster than anyone predicted. Studies show the patch has increased tenfold since the 1960s, with most growth since 2000. Plastic production worldwide has skyrocketed, doubling every 15 years since the 1950s. As plastic output rises, so does the input of ocean-bound trash from coastlines and rivers. The patch now gathers waste from all Pacific nations, especially Asia and North America. Wind, wave action, and surface currents push floating trash steadily toward the gyre center. Once inside, plastic rarely leaves it fragments, floats, and adds to the vortex's plastic soup. With each storm or flood, new plastic joins the swirling patch and expands its toxic footprint. 3. What the patch is really made of. Many people imagine the patch as a solid trash island, but it is far more complex and hidden. The bulk of its contents is not visible from satellites or boats, but floats just below surface. Large plastics like crates, nets, buoys, and buckets are mixed with millions of tiny fragments. Over 90% of the items by count are microplastics smaller than a grain of rice. These fragments come from broken bags, bottles, wrappers, toothbrushes, and household goods. About 46% of the patch's mass is discarded fishing nets and commercial gear. Lost or dumped fishing equipment traps marine animals and continues killing for decades. 4. Global sources feeding the patch. The patch does not form from local trash alone. It collects plastic from multiple continents. Rivers like the Yangtze, Mekong, and Ganges carry millions of tons of waste to the Pacific. Illegal dumping, poor landfill management, and storm drains feed oceans with human debris. Asia, North America, and South America all contribute heavily to the patch's plastic load. Fishing fleets in the Pacific lose or abandon tons of gear that drift into the gyre system. Ships also lose containers in storms, adding unexpected bulk plastics to ocean currents. Tourist beaches and coastal cities leak plastic waste during festivals, floods, or daily use. Even countries with good waste systems still export or offshore plastic that ends up at sea. 5. Impact on marine ecosystems. The garbage patch severely damages ocean life, from tiny plankton to large whales and turtles. Marine animals mistake floating plastics for food and suffer from ingestion or entanglement. Seabirds feed plastic pieces to chicks, leading to starvation and digestive tract blockages. Fish eat microplastics, which then enter the food chain and reach humans through seafood. Ghost fishing nets trap and kill creatures long after they have been discarded at sea. Plastics carry toxins that leach into tissues, harming animal reproduction and growth cycles. Even coral reefs near gyres suffer from suffocating plastics and declining marine populations. 6. Challenges of cleanup and control. Removing plastic from the patch is incredibly difficult due to its size and constant motion. Boats cannot scoop up microplastics without also collecting plankton and harming marine life. The patch is far from land, requiring expensive long-distance voyages for limited waste removal. Some cleanup systems work, but they catch only a fraction of the incoming plastic flow. Weather conditions and changing currents make large-scale operations inconsistent and risky. The size of the patch means total cleanup would take decades, even with global coordination. Microplastics are nearly impossible to collect, as they spread like dust in ocean layers. Most cleanup projects focus on larger debris, leaving behind billions of smaller fragments. 7. Why the patch matters to everyone. Even if you live far from the ocean, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch affects your life today. Plastic pollution affects global food supplies, especially fish and seafood industries. Microplastics have been found in drinking water, salt, and even in human blood samples. Toxic chemicals from plastics disrupt ecosystems, health systems, and entire supply chains. Plastic enters the atmosphere when it breaks down, contributing to airborne particulate matter. Fishing and tourism industries suffer economic losses as plastic harms marine environments. Coral reefs and biodiversity hotspots near the patch are crucial to planetary balance. 8. The role of fishing gear and ghost nets. Fishing gear is a major contributor to the garbage patch, especially industrial ghost nets. These massive nets drift through the ocean, catching animals long after being discarded. They are made of durable synthetic fibers, designed to resist saltwater and degradation. Ghost gear now makes up nearly half of the visible plastic mass in the garbage patch. Efforts to remove these nets are underway, but they often require divers and special tools. Some are so large they resemble drifting synthetic islands teeming with entangled corpses. Fishing companies must be held accountable for lost gear through tracking and return systems. 9. Microplastics in the vortex soup. Microplastics are fragments smaller than 5 millimeters, often invisible to the naked eye. They result from larger plastics breaking down due to sun, saltwater, and wave abrasion. The garbage patch contains trillions of microplastic particles suspended in ocean water. These particles are eaten by fish, plankton, whales, and eventually reach human consumers. They are found in seafood, salt, water, and even airborne dust that we breathe every day. Microplastics absorb toxic chemicals like mercury and PCBs, magnifying their health risks. They may carry bacteria, viruses, and invasive species across oceans, disrupting ecosystems. 10. What the future demands. The garbage patch will continue growing unless global action stops plastic at its source now. Recycling alone is not enough. Only 9% of plastic has ever been recycled worldwide. Plastic production must slow dramatically, especially single-use packaging and products. Corporations must redesign products to minimize waste and take responsibility for end-of-life use. Ocean cleanup efforts must be supported and expanded to target both rivers and vortexes. Public awareness must grow. What we buy and how we dispose directly fuels the garbage patch. Education, innovation, and legislation must work together to stop this crisis from escalating. The shocking truth is this patch isn't shrinking, it's expanding, threatening ecosystems and food chains alike. If we don't act, cleanup may become impossible. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more hard-hitting facts about our planet, and share this with someone who needs to know what's really happening out at sea. Change begins with awareness. Let's make it count.